Dear learners, welcome to this session. Today we are talking about Introduction to Law, and in that Introduction to Law, the topic for the session is classification of legal system. When we talk about classification of legal system, it is just a system which is in our home also. You know, when you get up, sometimes you get milk to play, drink, and then sometimes you have a different set of rules in a house. So, similarly there are different types of rules or systems in different legal systems. So, maybe in a country we follow a different system, as in a house we follow a different system, in the other house we follow a totally different system. So, that depends maybe on the customs, because traditionally we follow a particular set of rules or conducts which we inherit and then we practices on day-to-day basis. So, that is the legal system. When we talk about legal system, it is that certain rules, codes and laws have been formulated for the country, wherein people are expected to follow certain rules and they have some duties to do. They also have certain rights, as we have rights in our family. So, a set of legal rules wherein you are expected to do something and wherein you have certain duties and you also have certain rights. That is a legal system. So, when we talk about legal system, it refers to a procedure or process for interpreting the enforcement of law. So, enforcement of law is very important. Who enforces the law in a family? Maybe the head of the family, because everywhere we talk to that person, and whenever there are certain small issues in a family, the head of the family tries to mitigate them, talks to the family members and then the issues are resolved. Similarly, we have a Constitution of India wherein the certain rules are laid down by the Constitution of India. We have different other legislative provisions. So, we have to follow certain rules, and when we follow these rules, they are embedded in the family system, they are embedded in the legal system, and then we develop as a nation. What is the legal system? I just said that legal system is not something which is enforced upon us, which is something which is not related to us in any way. Legal system is a system wherein we as a civilized nation learn to respect others' rights and have certain rights and duties to fulfill, and there is an enforcement machinery wherein if the rights and duties are not followed in a proper way as defined, then there is a code of conduct. So, this is a legal system. Now, I will also discuss what is common law system. Is common law something which is related to common people? Because when I talk that there is a common law, what is common law? So, is it something which everybody talks about? So, common law is a system wherein you have certain rules and conducts, wherein they have so many judgments delivered by the high courts and tribunals and even the Supreme Court, and the judgments delivered by the Supreme Court or the higher court is binding on the lower court. So, that is the principle of judicial precedent. So, you have a precedent, you have to follow certain decisions in the coming judgments also. Then composition of judicial institution is also very important, and when I talk about the features, first I will just tell you that these are the features and then I will discuss them one by one. So, the second is composition of judicial institutions, and this is very important. Then we have adversarial system of court proceeding and the role of judges. This is another feature of a common law system. Then importance of acts, statutes and other legislation. So, all these features we will discuss this one by one. I will also tell you that what are the countries who are following these common law features. India is one country, then few examples are of Australia, Bhutan, UK, Hong Kong, New Zealand, United States, some parts and then Singapore. So, we are common law countries. Why are we common law countries? Because we were a colony of British and the Britishers have developed this common law principles. Then the authority of the judgment is very important, you know. As I said that there is a procedure of judicial precedent. Judgments of the higher court are judicial precedent and they must be followed by the lower court in similar cases. So, while interpreting any law, you have to follow the previous judgments of the courts. Then you should also know that if a related case, the ratio decidendi of the case is very important. If the related case comes up before any other court and the Supreme Court has already given a judgment on that issue, then the same judgment will be preceded and it will be said that the judgment will be adhered to. So, it is very important in common law countries because they follow the previous judgments. Then composition of judicial institution is also very important, you know. The judges of the courts are highly skilled persons who have specially studied law and possesses practical experience. And there is a procedure wherein you are appointed as a judge. So, for a trial court or a district court, you have entrance exam, then you have to have certain number of experience and then only you can become a judge. It is not that a medical professional without having a law degree becomes a judge in a common law country. Then adversarial system of court proceeding is followed in common law countries. And this is, you know, what makes it different from a continental law country, and I will just discuss what is continental law after a few time. You know, court proceedings are focused on adversarial nature, you know, wherein you have two parties and both the parties engage advocates who act like adversaries in the court. Say so, there are two advocates, they are talking about their clients, they are representing their clients in the court and the judges are giving judgments on the basis of the evidence produced in the court. So, the judge has to interpret the law, the judge has to look at to the evidences produced by the lawyers and then they decide on the matter. Then Act Institute passed by competent authority is very important, you know, because as I said that India is a common law country. So, wherein, you know, there are some gaps in an act or a statute, then the judges have the power to interpret and fill these gaps. Have you heard about the Vishakha judgment? Wherein, you know, the judiciary has tried to move a step ahead even in the Nirbhaya case. So, our judges find it very important that if there is a gap in any statute or in any legislation, then they fill it up with their judgments and those judgments play a very important role in future cases. Then the second type of legal system is the continental legal system. The legal system followed by the Western Europe, you know, is continental legal system, wherein, you know, you have a continent and that is following the continental legal system. The origin can be traced from the Roman Empire of the 5th century and, you know, you have heard about Justinian, wherein, you know, many rules and regulations were codified in his period and the rules and regulations after codification was called code. So, code of law was there and this is how a common law legal system is differentiated by the continental legal system. You know, because in the continental legal system we have a different format of thinkers, we have a different procedure of judges appointments, then we follow a totally different procedure. Legal systems spread over all Europe including England for some time because later on England had a different system. Then era of colonization was there in the 17th and 18th century and this is where, you know, the countries had their own legal system. Then this type of system is present in many countries of Southern America and few parts of African countries. This legal system is very important, because importance of acts, statutes passed by the parliament or competent authority is very important. Then when I will be discussing, I will also discuss about the composition of judiciary. How is it different from the common law system? Then power of the judges to make law, and then the inquisitorial approach of the court proceeding. As in India, we have in certain tribunals. The judges who are a part of a tribunal sometimes from adversarial become inquisitorial, because they try to find out the truth. And while discussing, we will discuss it further, that what are the benefits of the continental legal system. As I discussed, the first feature is importance of acts, statutes passed by the competent legislature. This is very important, In the common law system also, you have certain rules to follow. You have a parliament which makes a law, and then a judiciary who interprets the law. While interpreting in a common law system, if there is a gap in any legislature, then the judiciary will fill up the gaps. What happens in a continental legal system? The act or a law passed by parliament has a highest importance in the legal system. Authority of the competent legislature is to assimilate the scattered rule and then draft them according to the modern conditions and get them passed in the parliament. So this is called codification of rules. There are certain rules and regulations in the interest of people. You just have to codify them, you just bring them together, and then you make it the law of the land. So this is the continental legal system. Then composition of judiciary, I just said that in a common law system, what will be the judiciary? Somebody who has studied law, then who has certain experience in the field of law, but in the continental legal system, it is very different. A person from a very diverse field can be a judge. So he might be having a specialized knowledge of a particular field. Suppose we have cases related to medical, then maybe a medical practitioner will hold the position of a judge. Similarly, in cases where scientific equipments are used or scientific methodology is challenged in the court of law, then we can have a scientist as a judge of that court. So engineer, doctor, scientist and astronaut, anybody can become a judge, and this is the beauty of the continental legal system. You may not have the legal experience, you may not have studied the law books, but still you become a judge in a continental legal system because you have an expertise which is needed for that particular case. Then the power of the judges to make law is very important, because as we have judicial precedent in the common law system, wherein if a case comes up in the court of law and a similar case has been decided by the higher court, then that higher court's decision will be binding on the lower court and will be applied in a common law system. But this is not so in the continental legal system. Judgments are given by the judges in other cases, but they are not bound by them. Then the judgments given by the highest court of appeal in France are not binding on all courts of France. So this is a difference between a continental court and a common law court, wherein you have different rules you have to follow. The judicial precedent in a common law court, wherein in a continental law court you don't have to follow, you can pass your own judgments, and that can be totally different from the earlier judgment or totally new than the earlier judgments. So you are not bound by the earlier judgments. Then this is very important, inquisitorial approach of the court proceeding, because when you talk about inquisitorial approach of the court proceeding, it is very important. But we can do it in continental legal systems where the number of judges as per population are more. But in India or other common law countries wherein we have thousands of people and one judge, then inquisitorial approach of court proceedings may be very difficult to follow or practice, because the judge is very inquisitive. He will just not depend on the evidence produced by both the advocates in an adversarial court, but here he will, out of his quest for knowing the truth, can go to the scene of crime, can collect his own evidences and then give a judgment. So, this is very important, and we have also witnessed few cases wherein the special courts have been formed and the special courts have been empowered to play an inquisitorial approach, wherein the judges do not only rely on the evidences produced by the parties, but they try to find out the truth in the case. So, in the continental legal system, the truth is not only the responsibility of the advocates, but truth finding is also a responsibility of the judge. So, the judge will also like to know about the truth, and he can take a very practical step of going to the location or getting evidences out of his own sources. So, this is the difference between the common law system and the continental legal system. Then collection of evidence is very important, as I said, that the truth has to be established, and the judge has to believe that this is the real truth, and he can find out if he has certain doubts. Then I just said that the difference between common law system and continental law system can be discussed on the authority of the judgments, wherein authority of the judgments in a common law system is binding on the lower judiciary, whereas in the continental legal system the authority of the judgments is not binding on the other courts. Then composition of judicial institution is very important, wherein for a common legal system you should have a law degree, and then you should have a number of experience, and then you have to clear certain examinations and interviews, and then you are selected as a judge. Whereas in a continental legal system, anybody from diverse field, a scientist, a painter, an artist can become a judge in a court proceeding. Then system of court proceeding is also very different. Then importance of acts and statutes is also very important, because in a court proceeding, in an adversarial system, the evidences produced by both the lawyers are important, and on that basis only the decision is taken by the judge, wherein in a continental legal system the judge can be very inquisitive, and he can also find out the truth and find out the real case, and on the basis of the real findings he can give his judgment. And then important of act and statutes, in a common law the judges can fill the gap if there is a gap by the judgments, wherein in the continental legal system the act and statutes are strictly followed, and the judges do not get this power or the privilege of interpreting law by adding the gaps. Then we have a different legal system called socialist legal system, and this is very interesting, because for the society's interest you are adding something. So, it is not very different from the continental or common law system. However, there are certain features of this legal system which have distinguished them from the other legal system. And in a world where you talk about the society, you talk about the welfare state, this socialist legal system plays a very important role. Then we have legal rules are not considered permanent, because whenever you find that the society demands something, then you make a change and that change becomes a law. Public law is more important than a private law in this. Judicial review of administrative and by the legislature is totally different, because in cases of judicial review, you have to review on the decision, but here you can change your law as per the need and the circumstances of case to case. Then it has a great influence of continental legal system, because as a part of the society, the laws are made. So in the interest of the society, you can make the law. The judges can be very inquisitive, they can just really find out the truth. The benefit of the society is the prime importance in any socialist legal system. So law is considered to be a temporary character, and a time would come when law would not necessarily be governed. So to promote economic equality, to promote social equality, you make a system, and that system is also not permanent, as we have seen in the former USSR, that they adopted the social legal system and private and commercial rights were abolished after that. So the Bouguereau's law was not there. So what was the reason for that? The reason was to bring a society wherein the benefits and the interest reach to all the people. So we have a common people-oriented law, and that is of social importance. So we are talking about the society in general, and we are making laws for them. We are also changing them as per the need and the society needs, and then we are making it and changing it as per the current day. Then we have seen that in USSR it was abolished, and then further public law plays a very important role. Private law has less importance in cases of socialistic legal society, because you talk about public laws, constitutional law, administrative law and criminal law are very important in a socialist legal society. Then administrative law, I just said that it deals with the structure, power and functions of the administration. Constitutional law is the basis, how will the government function? What are the aspirations of the people? How will you realize the goals and needs of the people? So that is there. Then in the socialist legal society, branches of private law have shifted and become a part of public law. So this is also very important. If you have public and private law, importance will always be given to public law, and after a time period, the private laws will club in public law for the interest of the society. Then judicial review of administrative action will not be done. Socialist law theorists traditionally argue that the legislature is conceived to be the supreme expression of the will of the people and beyond the reach of judicial restraint. So any legislative action cannot be condoned by judiciary if it is in the interest of the people. Then they do not believe in theory of separation of powers as common law country believe. Legislature, executive and judiciary are independent and separate from each other. But here the superiority of legislature is there, and all the other organs play a part of the legislature. Then this judicial review power is also considered as a tool of the Portuguese. Then continental legal system, as I said, that they have a lot of power, where the judges can act on their own and promote social and economic justice. So that part of continental legal system has been embedded in this socialistic system also. Then legal field, as I just said, is not divided. You can have lawyers from any other area. I am a practicing lawyer in criminal, and next hearing I become as an intellectual law expert and I take that case also. So there are no strict bifurcations or division as we find in common law system. Then I will also discuss about the international legal system. As we said that the nation has a legal system. Similarly, the international level also we have certain rules and regulations to follow. We follow certain organizations and we are bound to follow certain rules as we have signed a treaty or we are part of United Nations, and these legal systems can be in the form of treaties. If we are a party to United Nations, then European Union and South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. So, it can be any of these, As a country, I am a part of United Nations, so I have to follow the rules, the charters which the United Nations have given to all of us. Then, it is very important to have international peace and security. If you do not follow an international legal system, then there are conflicts. So, in the form of treaties, two nations can agree and disagree and come to a conclusion in the form of treaty. 5 nations can also join together and come in the form of treaty. But when we have a United Nations, then all the nations have to adhere to it, because the purpose of United Nations is to have peace and cooperation among all nations. Then European Union, because in Europe, you have a European Union wherein you get certain privileges by the European Union and then you also have certain duties. So, in this system, we have seen that we have so many structures, in a common law country, there is an adversarial system, where in a continental law country, we have a procedure where the judge is very inquisitive and he will try to bring out the facts and the truth if the evidences do not bring them to the board. Then in the socialist country or in the socialist legal system, we have rules and codification for the society. So, the laws change as per the need of the society. It is not a very stringent law and it cannot be amended. The amendment will take place by the legislature and legislature plays a very important role. So, by this we can explain the legal systems, and this is how we can classify the legal system of our country and even at international level, because we follow some traits of continental legal system, some traits of common legal system and some traits of socialist legal system also. Similarly, the other countries of Europe also follow them in a broader way. So, this is how we have discussed legal system and their classification. Thank you.